Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Case Files. Today's case takes us to Tokyo, Japan, considered as one of the busiest capitals in the world. It is also one of the most populated cities in the world, from amazing neon-lit skyscrapers to some historic temples. The city blends in its modern lifestyle with a sense of traditionalism. From animes to everyday electronic items to my personal favorite video games, the country is known for producing it all. According to the National Tourism Organization of Japan, in November of 2022, Tokyo alone had more than 900,000 visitors. With all that aside though, we jump into the lives of the Miyazawa family. A family of four: Mikio Miyazawa, his wife Yasuko Miyazawa, their 8-year-old daughter Nina, and 6-year-old son Rei Miyazawa. Mikio worked for a London-based marketing consultancy in Japan. His wife Yasuko was a school teacher. They lived in Setagaya, Tokyo, a peaceful suburban neighborhood close to central Tokyo. On the 31st of December 2000, as the world was getting ready to welcome a new year, Haruko, mother of Yasuko Miyazawa, decided to check up on her daughter, son-in-law, and grandchildren. Approximately at 10:30 a.m., upon entering the house, she would come to witness something so dreadful and horrific, something that no mother or grandmother, or anyone for that matter, should witness. As she entered the home, she came across the body of her son-in-law on the first floor next to the stairs, lying in his own pool of blood. She then later came across the bodies of her daughter, granddaughter, and grandson. According to reports, Rei, the youngest, was the only victim who was strangled to death, while the rest of the family were all stabbed. The screams of Haruko were so loud that neighbors in the area could hear her cries. Soon after, the police arrived and an investigation began. Now, it is believed, as per the investigations, that the assailant had come into the house by climbing a tree and removing a window screen to enter the house. The assailant first went into young Rei's room and strangled the boy to death. Mikio, concerned by the strange noises coming out of his room, decided to check it out, only to find out the innocent boy being strangled by the assailant. A fight erupted between the two, and unfortunately Mikio too was overpowered by the killer. Though it is believed that Mikio did manage to injure the assailant, unfortunately it wasn't enough. During the commotion, Mikio was stabbed in the head with such force that a piece of the knife was left stuck in Mikio's head. After that, the killer then decided to go into the other room where Yasuko and Nina were sleeping. The killer then decided to attack the two with a knife believed to have been taken from the kitchen. As per the investigation, the attack on both Yasuko and Nina were the most brutal, leading to belief that the attacker had some sort of hatred or aggression towards women. The investigation would later conclude that the attack lasted about 10 minutes and that the killer would stay in the house for more than 10 hours. It is also believed that the killer would browse through their family computer, ate ice cream from their fridge, drank tea, had some spinach and beans, and also used their toilet without flushing. He also took a nap on their sofa. Some money was also taken, but quite a lot was left behind. As tragic as this incident was, it was equally bizarre for the police to figure out the motive behind the crime. It was also tough to figure out who the culprit could be behind the incident. So naturally, a lot of theories were developed in the process. One theory was that the culprit might have entered from the front door and not from the window. If this is the theory to go with, it would mean that the family had to know the individual personally and was invited in the house. This theory doesn't hold much weight though, in my opinion, as the culprit's behavior was very reckless throughout, and also that the culprit would have had to take off their shoes after entering the home, as it is very common in Japanese culture. And per the investigations, a size 28cm shoe print was also found in the house, which was later revealed it possibly being manufactured in Korea. The other and general theory is that the culprit climbed a tree and entered the home through a window, as mentioned earlier. It was also determined that the killer was likely a man, mostly because of the physicality required from entering to committing these acts. Likely born between 1965 to 1985, which would mean that he was about 15 to 35 of age at the time of the incident. The killer would also leave traces of his blood and DNA all over the place, and also left a lot of his belongings at the scene. It was also revealed that the incident had occurred on December 30th to 31st at around 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. An analysis of Mikio Miyazawa's computer revealed that it had connected to the internet the morning after the murders at 11:18 a.m. and then again at around 10 a.m. around the time Yasuko's mother Haruko entered the home and discovered her family. Earlier, Haruko was starting to become suspicious after being unable to call her daughter as the killer had unplugged the phone line, and then decided to visit the house and received no answer after ringing the doorbell. Authorities believe that the killer had stayed in the house until at least 1:18 a.m., but the computer usage at 10 a.m. could have also been triggered by Haruko accidentally moving the mouse during her discovery of the crime scene. Despite all that, the police were still unable to find anything concrete that could lead them to the actual person. There were some theories suggesting that it could have been a bunch of teenagers whom Mikio had some issues with in the skate park located at the backside of the Miyazawa residence. It is believed that the reason for the issue was because the teenagers would make a lot of loud noises and cause problems for the Miyazawa family. It was also reported that prior to the murders, a witness had seen Mikio arguing with a bunch of motorcycle gang as well. Known to be violent and dangerous, they were also known to carry weapons with them all the time. A lot of people came forward describing some strange incidents as well happening in the neighborhood, just months before and even days before the tragic incident took place. For instance, it was reported that months before the crime, the neighborhood had witnessed animals, mostly strays, getting abused or tortured, though later it was revealed to be a bank clerk who was behind these and had no connection to the family murders. Though interestingly, just days before the incident, on the 25th of December, Yasuko had mentioned to her father-in-law about a strange car repeatedly parking in front of the house, despite the fact that there were a lot of parking spots close to the park. Also, on the 27th of December, an eyewitness had seen a man roaming around the Miyazawa residence. On the 29th of December, a day before the incident, a young man was also seen at a train station just miles away from the family residence. The young man was seen in a skater-type outfit similar to the one found in the house during the investigations. Unfortunately, despite it all, nothing concrete could come out of it, and the killer is still largely unknown to the authorities. The investigation into the murders is among the largest in Japanese history, involving more than 200,000 investigators who have collected over 12,000 pieces of evidence. all the evidence still remain in custody. To this date, there is still a reward of 20 million yen for the information leading to the killer's arrest. It is also considered to be one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in the world, and as days go by, it remains to be seen if the killer actually does get caught anytime soon. Well folks, that was the end of the case file. Hope you did find the video interesting. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and please be safe. Peace.